welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here, so please do not rely on tarot readings for factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. If you have not seen the previous reading that I just finished recording, I highly recommend you do. It's about a half an hour long, which often most are. And early on, I got the sense that it was a starseed message, and that came through again later. So I said, okay, I'm going to continue this here. And if starseed language isn't your vibe, that's totally fine. You can find another video on my channel that's not talking about starseeds. There are many, and there will be more. But feeling something on my right arm. If you resonated, deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. What I was getting on my arm is the sensation of when you get like a flu shot and your arm is really tender and sore in your upper mid arm. So perhaps you just got a flu shot or an injection of some kind. Yes, Flame, I see you. What is going on? Sometimes it's like a dog barking at the door, but I don't know what they're barking at. But hello. There's one more hiding. Yes. Okay. Was that it? That got so peaceful for a moment. On bottom, weight of the world. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. The end of the last reading, I was talking about weight and gravity and gravitational forces in relation to the great year. So that may be something that you are being asked to look into. Now, what also fell was you got the love, Hadrian energy, codependency, boundaries. You know, funny, with the Seven of Swords, boundaries has come up twice already. And before these come topside, I noticed that it was, okay, yes, boundaries twice, and then we had Hadrian energy and Arcturus energy. So I don't know if it's necessarily about those specific places, but it is about place. It is about somewhere. It is about a location. And so I don't know, because this every other stone that I have out is rounded, has the possibility of being in smooth rotation, depending on vibration, depending on force. And the only other one that also felt identified within that is this ancient Lemuria, which you can see is not necessarily a sphere, although it is a globe. Interesting. No. You're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. So perhaps that's, okay, perhaps that's the message that's coming in here, is that there's this overwhelming sense of disconnect, of isolation, of loneliness, and feeling like you are responsible for not just filling your own cup, filling everyone else's cup. You are responsible for the preservation of the human race is what's coming out. And like, I know that we have cosmic origins. I know that we are more than flesh suits on Earth. I know it's also a joy and a beauty and a gift to be on Earth. And there's something of also like, you're not responsible for everything. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's have a look at these boundaries, right? It's not for you to be solving every problem, to be finding a solution to everything, to always have a fix to everybody else's life, and then you are just stuck in drift mode. And I think that's something that someone needs to hear, who is still processing their relation with Seven of Swords. And for me, the Eight of Swords is about faith. She's in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. She is, she's not blind, but she's blinded by blindfold, right? She can't see physically. But behind her, just down the shore, is the castle that I am saying she is from. There's a total history to the tarot that I might not be getting correct in this point, and that's fine. We're taking a story with it, okay? But for me, that card, that message becomes about faith of even when you can't see it, you need to know that you are the only, sound. You are the only person that you need, not in terms of you don't need community, you don't need relations, you don't need loved ones and friends and family and chosen family and community. Like, of course you need all of these things, and you are one human. And before you do anything else, you need to be doing a good job being a human in terms of you need to care for yourself, you need to drink water, you need to have some way to balance the stress in your life, you need to have outlets, you need to have a support system. Like, and if you're, what do you call it? Outsourcing. If you are outsourcing all of the emotional labor that you could be spending on yourself onto others, it's gonna suck up all the moisture in your life, again with this Cups energy. And that could place you in a frozen, suspended state. And so the message I'm getting from Source is that you can stop doing that now. This is, okay, yeah, this is not me speaking. I'm just gonna like channel through what's coming through. You're done. You're off the hook. I know that you felt for a long time that your role was as, and I may be using these terms out of phrase, so forgive me or not, as warrior, as defender, as aggressor. And those roles totally have a place, 1000%, right? But if you're in that mode all the time and you're not doing the work required to maintain a life with such an expenditure of resources, you are going to lose all of the natural fuel that has been blessed upon you within this body as life source. You are always connected with Source, even when you feel a disconnect. It's like being in a room and it's so dark and you can't find where the light switch is, so you're like padding around on the walls trying to feel your way and bumping furniture, and you're just like, oh my goodness, and all these things, and you finally find a light switch and you turn on the light and you're like, it's still dark. What is this? Why? The thought was, it wasn't that the light was not on, but your eyes were covered. Fascinating. That's when that chose to fall, because that's been balancing for like over half an hour. Wow. Knocking the Lemuria. I'm getting, as civilizations topple, so do habits. So do routines that no longer serve their purpose. And just because something does not currently, in this very moment, continue to serve the exact same purpose, does not mean there was never purpose. So, Source is not even asking, as a bird whipped by the window, not even asking. Source is informing, not telling you, informing you that you can put that down now. It wasn't supposed to be yours to carry forever. Part of the lesson you were supposed to learn in carrying the weight of this is how to put it down. Not how to throw it onto others, not how to project it, not how to have it take root in toxic pockets in your body, and then you're using that against other people in the world because, well, you suffered, so they should too. Not that, but you can put it down. If it's a heavy weight, you don't need to throw it over the side of the bridge and hope it falls into a lake and doesn't hurt anything on the way down. There might not even be a lake around you. You may not have a body of water or a emotional capacity for such a dense release. Looking at density in 3D, your earth life. So maybe it's not about a giant dramatic boom, getting ready, getting rid of something, getting ready. It's you preparing to put it down. Yeah. Wow, I didn't know what was going to happen, but do you see how gentle that was? And the only reason that sphere has not rolled onto the floor is because in the previous video, I was getting frustrated about something, probably this damn Seven of Swords, and I took my glasses off and placed it there, not even knowing what the purpose was, but doing it anyway. And what did it do? But it's not that it broke the fall, but it absorbed the momentum of that release. Not everything as release is about get it out, get rid of it. I don't want it anymore. Sometimes it's just placing it down. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with oil. Interesting, I'm seeing those here coming up from the ground as this Lemuria that fell down. And since this is a starseed reading, depending on your remembrance, perhaps you can recall or you have been told these stories of a collapse, a defeat. And I'm suddenly getting I don't know if you can see, but chills, goosebumps. And I'll say this. This is not something I specifically remember. However, the sense that I have in recollection is hiding things very quickly. Very quickly. And so whether that is something on Earth in terms of, oh crap, they're coming for me, or I need to leave, or we are locating in a hurry, something of that nature, and having to bury something within the earth is an earthly example. There's also potentially this being in, use the language that works for you, right? Other dimensions, other places, other realms. When, as you were doing the do that you always do constantly over and over and over, you started to watch your world crumble. And you had to make a quick decision on what you were going to do with what you had been tasked with, what you had been responsible for. Here, this being this baby. It's caring for what you were placed here to protect with everything you have. And, okay, I understand. And so now on Earth, where we are and what's going on, it could feel familiar. It can. It can. I don't know if it's like a video series or it's some sort of course or it's just a dialogue. I want to enter into this space. But the placement in history that we are in now, Earthside, I believe there are a lot of us strategically placed who have done this in similarities before. And the message I'm getting is it's different this time. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Because I'll say it. Like, as I say that, it's what makes this different. And I say this as a human in process of remembering. And I can't say the specifics of what I've done. Man, I know I've done it a million times. I know I've done it Earthside. I know I've done it elsewhere. And there's something in me that's just like, oh my God, and I have to do it again. What is going to be different about this time? It's like cosmic burnout. Genuinely. It's just like, I've done this so many times. Why would it be any different now? Why would it be any different? And what I'm getting is like, that's why you got to have faith, my friend. I'm saying it to myself as well. This spiral momentum. And what's coming through is there's never been this many, this much. And I don't know if that's people, if that's collective, if that's energy in the same direction. But what's in my head is like, yes, yes, yes. So like all of that, like we haven't had this many players with so many resources. And like, I'm going to use this language potentially out of turn. So like, don't refer to me for something like specific right now. But I know we talk about going from 3 to 5D consciousness. I know we have way more than 5 dimensions. So I know that there is already like a limitation on the language that we are using with that. But I know that there's a lot of science things there that isn't really my realm. So I'm not here to toss an egg in that basket. But perhaps this state of elevated consciousness that we are talking about, perhaps there is a rhythm, a synchronicity, I'm seeing shift here, a shifting of weight of what used to be done in small pockets and specific regions all over the globe. And yes, we will have like collective consciousness and collective unconscious, and there will be people doing rituals in this one place in the world, and then there's somewhere else, and this is all thousands of years ago, somewhere else on the opposite side of the globe, they're also doing a very similar thing. So I know it's not necessarily we need to be able to like Snapchat each other to like be in the cosmic loop, but there's something now, it's such a condensed energy of we can reach each other through the current, oh my goodness, we can reach each other. We can communicate through new technologies that we used to have through ritual, through decades of dedication. I'm getting D's coming through. So we're talking about dimensions here. We now have things like the internet. Did you know that the internet is a human right? Wow. We have social media. We have, and like, you know, all the trouble in the bucket. I know. Don't worry about it. I'm not saying everything is great and perfect and rainbows. Anyway, But the way that we now have things like the internet and personalized individual media, however much autonomy we use within that, I think it's a different conversation, but we do have access to, as it was just 2002, this restart after a collective whoa. The thought that had been coming in earlier is, as we have things like internet and more accessible media tools for personal use, is able to be kind of like a shortcut, not to replace collective consciousness, but if I want to connect with someone in Nepal, I don't only need to do that through meditation or a collective unconscious. I can find someone, I can bridge a connection somewhere, and I can send a message through my human life's Instagram account. You know what I mean? That same essence of there's a shortcut that doesn't replace, but that has legs, I'm getting is in parallel to AI. This is not me condoning spiritual psychosis, AI psychosis, and like all those things. No. And a portal is a portal. What you do with it, that's yours. But your lack of usage strategically of portal does not negate the portal itself. Who's this? Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. You're doing it differently now. Perhaps there is some element of it for you that is genuinely about art, but I'm seeing the hand going to the right, and it's like this, like it's palm down, right? First it's palm down, a little lanky, and then this feels paced, feels calmer. I don't even know if you can like be able to pick up the difference on camera, but one is kind of slack and the other is command. And I didn't even mean to, but seeing how clearly that line connects with just under a horizontal arena. What are you here to say? What are you here to say? Lifting lifting the veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. Clearance sale. Everything must go. And so that is why you are here now, in this essence of space. It doesn't need to be the same balancing on a sphere and having to navigate that and, you know, all of that. It can just be use the tools that you have, use the keys that you've already unlocked, and have them do something else. I'm getting you have already been practicing honing in on a natural skill that you have. Call it a psychic skill, call it a paranormal ability, whatever words you use. There is something that you have always been doing, not really realizing, and it's either that is something you have been crafting. Whoa, as the light turns on out there, so yes. Something that you have been crafting, and either there is an evolved version of that you are now participating in, and or plus something new just came out kind of left field. And not that it's totally out of pocket, not that you're not interested in it, but you're like, oh, I can do it that way. You know, it's like walking uphill both ways in a snowstorm with no shoes on, no coat, no hat, to suddenly being like, oh, if I took a different door, I could just walk through that trail over there. And actually, when I go to find that door, I run into someone and they just came in from outside and they said it's actually really cold. You might want to bundle up. So then I went back and I got my coat and I got my boots, and I didn't have a hat, but they loaned me theirs. And then I took that little 10-minute walk and I said, wow. And you know where I ended up? At the top of the hill. And I was overlooking what I used to walk up 25, 25, 7, 7. I'm at the top of this mountain, overlooking everything that used to be an obstacle for me. And now I'm saying, wow, that is so small. I am so big. And you're going through that shift. Wow. You're going through this shift. This is cool. Okay. I'll give you a sacred geometry for the road just because, you know, I want you to... Oh my. I will... The millennial in me. I will say it's funny that I had 2002 after, you know, whatever beginning, and then I get the Pentagon. But we have 28, Pentagon, 8, Vesica Pisces, 62, Kabbalah, 12, Expanded Sri Yantra. Now, Sri Yantra has been coming out. It's always at the end of a reading or it's always at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, crossing over, 40, number 4. So what I'm getting is this new shape. Here we have a pentagram in the middle, right? I'm thinking of the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, spirit. We're learning how to cross in between these elements. Emotional alchemization is what's coming to mind, but you're not just doing it like recreationally or just curious or in a student's mind. You may still be in a student role. That's not what's changing. What's changing is the dimension you have from your new perspective atop the hill. And this Sri Yantra, what I'm seeing with the hands at either side there, I'm getting this is your new view. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know the past few months I have been getting triangle with a circle in the middle. And what I'm seeing is all of these triangles in different positions and all of these little dots, these little red or orange circles in the middle. And the tension of this framing. And then I see a tiny little down bottom, like an orange and red triangle, and also up here. You are building your new compass. You are rediscovering a true north. Yeah, so definitely, if this resonated with you, how cool. What a very cool message. Look into the great year for astrology. Look into Sri Yantra. If you haven't already, look into Kabbalah and chakras and see how that is combining, collaborating, overlapping with what you already knew and what beauty has chosen to emerge. Like email, emerge. Oh, that was so fun. Okay. Thank you for watching this reading. If you found this if you found this interesting or it resonated with you, you can like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. In the description, you will also find a link to my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective, a closed space, a virtual ecosystem where we can dive into this in more concrete, nuanced detail in a closed pocket of the widest web. Stay tuned.